Hello and welcome to the OJ podcast. My name is O. Over there's Jay.
That's up, y'all.
Sup, yo? Oh man,
The OJ
we
podcast.
got now. We gotta stay. Now we gotta stick to our guns.
I know,
Gotta
man.
rebrand this thing, the OJ Star Wars
The OJ
podcast.
Star Wars podcast. Not the OG, the OJ.
Yeah, the OJ. There you go. There you go. My name is Toby Velez. That over there was Joel Young. How you guys doing today?
Yeah. What's up, y'all? It's good to be
Yeah,
with you again, Obed. It's a pleasure as always.
yeah. Good to be here, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing real good. As you mentioned at the beginning of the OJ podcast, someone pointed that out to us earlier in the week, and we were like, "Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, we got to bring that out on the show." Because how did we not think of that sooner, right? Our
Yeah,
nephews
exactly.
Obed and Joel. Yeah, man, it's been a busy time, good time regardless. Looking forward to being nice and refreshed this upcoming weekend. We have a little extended weekend, you and I both, from with time off from work and whatnot. So that's quite nice. So I'm sure you'll spend time with your family. I'll spend time, recuperating and probably playing some more Jedi Fallen Order.
Do
But
it.
which I gotta do because we gotta talk about it here on the show and also in person as well. Um, with that being said, I got to go out and see a little movie by the name of this is a movie that has changed its name, was Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of Harley
Fanta-
Quinn.
Fantabulous.
Fantabulous. Yeah, so that movie changed its title to Harley Quinn Birds of Prey,
Oh boy.
which they should have done a long time ago. I remember a lot of the commentary when it was announced that was the official title with the start putting marketing and posters out with that previous title that they had. I do recall that was a big question mark. Like, wow, that's a mouthful. That's weird. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to the average movie going audience. Those of us that are comic book fans, sure, we're gonna watch it anyways. But when it comes into marketing, people are looking for Harley Quinn, and they're gonna say, "I want to see the Harley Quinn movie." I mean, how many people think go up to the box office and say, "Hey, I want to see Birds of Prey, and the fantabulous emancipation of Harley Quinn"? No one's gonna say the whole title. They'll say, "Give me the Harley Quinn movie tickets," and
Yeah.
then the ticket taker is gonna know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. That was a missed opportunity in marketing, just to avoid confusion and have people know exactly what this was, right? Not that the fandom knew, because we all
right.
knew what this movie was about, right? But not the. I'd say for like the casual audience, it could have been a little bit confusing. Also, this movie did not do very well, Joe.
Yeah, it did not do very well. It was predicted to come in at about 40 mil and it ended up dropping to 33. Word of mouth on it was quite well. They didn't do a good job of letting that embargo release earlier. Maybe they were concerned more so of that they were going to have negative reviews and didn't get a real good sense early on of what it was going to be. So usually it's a defensive move. Let the embargo lift right before the film comes out. Can be a positive, can be a negative. This was a negative because not because the reviews weren't good. The reviews were around 80, maybe 83% or something along those lines for general online critics, and then like 86% for audience reviews when they started seeing the movie on opening day. And I ended up seeing it on the Friday night, and after watching the movie, I said, okay, this movie I didn't think was going to be a movie that was very long enduring, long lasting, just because it doesn't have a great rewatchability factor to it. It's one of those you just kind of sit through, watch it, meh, and keep going. Um, it's an entertaining movie. It's comedic. It actually has good personality to it. It leans strongly on Harley Quinn, which is what the movie needed to do, and which is why the title should have been from the beginning Harley Quinn's Birds of Prey. I never went into this movie thinking I'm watching a Birds of Prey movie. I thought it was a movie that was Harley Quinn and her Birds of Prey friends that are going to be in the movie at some point, right? And that's really, so I wasn't surprised by that. And that really is the way that the movie kind of goes. It's her story, and then she begins to introduce these other characters, and there's no real backstory for a couple of why characters are where they are today. It's just a quick, this is what happened to them bad, and then this is where they are today. But like, there's a whole large gap in between of what really happened with these characters. It's just like they, like, the world doesn't know who they are until all of a sudden when they all collide with Harley Quinn and the main mission of the movie. Um, the mission of the movie is quite weak, to be straightforward. The Black Mass is after a MacGuffin, and it's not intriguing enough for me. It's not like we're like talking about I'm not trying to compare to Marvel, but like Infinity Stones or something that's like interesting. It's just something that's about money, really, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
and that's just not for a superhero movie. Kind of dumbed it down, I felt. Um, yeah, I thought Black Mass was really cool, but at the same time, like, you don't really get real Black Mask until towards the end of the movie. You just get a kind of a kooky villain for most of the film. Zaz is pretty cool. I liked him. At the end of the day, Obed, I'm not going to recommend to people to go out and watch the movie. I'm just not.
Wow.
I would actually say wait to watch it at home, rent it at home. It's not a bad movie, but it's not a great movie. And if I feel mediocre about a film, like hey, I laugh sometimes, and I had a good time for a Friday night, seeing it, but it wasn't a movie that I left going, wow, that was really good. So I definitely gonna say, probably could skip it.
All right. Wow. Interesting. I know that just going into mild spoilers here, we're not gonna
Sure.
really like go in too deep. The only question I have for you was there any Joker presence, and how not and how ambiguous it was, because that was something that I was very curious about. I mean, I really don't care about this movie that much to begin
Right.
with. So just going back and knowing that there is some sort of reference to Mr. J in the movie, but if you want to just go ahead and tell what that is, if you're interested, if you're not interested, just skip ahead a minute. But yeah,
Yeah, great question, Obed. Mr. J is a very integral part to this movie, to the storyline of this movie, especially from the very beginning. He's If you're looking for Mr. J to show up in this movie, he doesn't. I'm just gonna shoot it straight like that and save people some time. But Mr. J is a strong presence for the film. His impact on his relationship, the whole premise beginning with Harley Quinn having a breakup from the Joker. This is kind of her solo. That's right. The Joker's not seeing the movie. She's broken up with him relationally. And there's cartoons that are illustrated, showing a cartoon illustration of the Joker, and there's even a drawing of the Joker that we see in the movie, and that's not a clear Jared Leto Joker at all. Like stuff that would make it very obvious, like the tattoos and all that kind of stuff, not drawn in any of the art of him. It's just pale face, green haired, clown looking person. Um, and then they do have flashback sequences to Suicide Squad. There's direct connection to Suicide Squad for the movie,
okay,
but they completely cut. I mean, not even like a shoulder shot of the Joker's in the movie. So it's like the Joker was in those scenes, and you're alluding to the Joker, but you're not showing anything of the Joker. So I thought that was really interesting. And so if you're going in this movie saying, I hope to see some kind of Joker, whether it be Leto or it be Joaquin, I don't want to disappoint you. There's no Joker, but there is a Joker presence.
okay, right. That's fair enough. I mean, going back into just touching into Joaquin, he just won an Oscar.
He sure did.
So there's that, and maybe DC will approach these movies in a different way. I know that I don't know how open Joaquin is to just going into more serialized type of character. He picks his roles, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that he would pick or continue the role for just role's sake. Uh, maybe he's just tired of doing this like fancy artsy thing that he's doing, and maybe he'll just have fun from now on. I mean, considering how depressing his speech was at the
Yeah.
Oscars.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully the guy can lighten up a little bit, and maybe what, maybe this is fun, and he can just roll with the character. I mean, they loved him. That's clear, right? The fans loved them, the Academy loved them. So why not just take the opportunity and make this character into something bigger? So I think that would be a good call, but we'll see. Yeah, like I said, man, I have zero interest in this movie. I'll watch it whenever I watch it. It was like Suicide Squad. I
Right.
watched it because I was having at that point I had a trial for HBO, and it was on, and I watched it. That's
Mm.
the I didn't pay, didn't pay to watch it. So
Yeah, it's not integral to, even if there is going to be a Shazam 2 or something, or obviously Wonder Woman's coming up. It really is not integral to the larger DC storyline at all.
Joel, before we move on, now that you mentioned Wonder Woman, do you want to talk about that cheetah leaked like
Oh,
thing that
let's
got
do
out
it.
there with like the full cheetah costume? Because you texted me, you said cats too, and I, and I
Yep.
looked at it, and it still looked better than the cats and cats, right? So I'm
Uh,
interested to see how they're going with this. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna try, based on what happened with cats, they're going to try and stay away from having Kristen Wiig do like crazy cat stuff on screen. So maybe they'll tone it down. I mean, this movie's been filmed for a while now, though,
yeah,
so that's a big problem. But so they've had these now. Well, they've had time to work on the VFX. Hopefully, they're gonna be better than on the first Wonder Woman. Not that they were bad or terrible, but they were rough in some areas. Um, but yeah, man, what do you think of that? That it's just one little picture. That's it.
yeah, just from that one little picture, I had to send that over to you because I was talking to you when the Cats movie came out, and I was like, the one time you can kind of get away with similar-ish graphics, or appearance rather, would be like, Wonder Woman and how they do Cheetah, and I was, well, of course, hoping for better, just because of the execution of that was still weird. Um, for this, looking at this little glimpse of a picture, I'll judge it when I see something in trailer or actual footage in the movie. They could save for the movie. The movie's going to be out, this summer. So we got. I'd be willing to wait. I don't need to see anything more than maybe that little promotional art, because it's really just more so art than it is an actual still image. So hopefully it doesn't look as flat as it does in that picture. It kind of gives me a very weird feelings, like how Cats maybe were. It just did not make me feel like it's as
Yeah.
practical as I would have liked it to be. Right, I'd like to see a little more. DC's been more practical,
It,
generally speaking.
it looked more
Um,
practical for sure. I mean, at least
yeah,
on that snapshot versus the cats and cats,
yeah, she's
which
got a
was
head of hair, and yeah,
exactly, yeah, where you have like it's basically a fur covered human body. That's basically how they did it in cats with a tail,
yeah,
and it was creepy.
yeah,
So this looks more, I would say, more natural compared to cats, because it does look like a sort of suit, and there's things going on, but it's a interesting choice, to say the least.
for sure. Can't wait to see what it looks like in final product.
Yeah, for sure. Not much on my end, dude. Only thing I did over the weekend was play some more Death Stranding. So I went back to that after doing the Kingdom Hearts DLC. That was still pretty challenging last time I played it, but I think I'm just gonna basically leave it at that. Death Stranding is still very good. It is
Nice,
still very frustrating, and it's an experience. it's a it's an experience, man. That game is an experience, and I'm not too far deep into a lot of the story stuff. Like, there's stuff happening.
mm,
There's this weird things that are happening with BB that are interesting, and just like I mentioned before, that the gameplay loop is very addicting. Now they're giving me more tools where I can make the gameplay loop a bit better. I don't have
mm,
to, basically have a pillar of stuff in my backpack, and be able to use like like little hover like tray that you can just put part of your cargo in it. And I got the like the leg, the exoskeleton for the legs, where lets me carry more weight. So I'm getting a little bit more mobility. It's still challenging. It's still very challenging. I got to this part where I just basically like actually died a couple times for the first time.
Wow.
Where yeah, I mean, not, there's no like dying in the game, right? Per se, at least not now. I know I haven't seen it. I mean, that's the whole thing of the game, right? There's like no dying. But I did get caught by a BT, and I was trying to scare the BT away, and something interesting happened because I lost my cargo. So I was like, all right, I ran out of grenades. I don't have any of my pee and poop grenades here, so I gotta just run away from this BT. And I got my stuff back in the backpack. So I was like, I just put my stuff real quick, and I'm just gonna try and crawl up this wall and try to get out of there. But I get the stuff on my backpack, and the BT got me again, or actually like did like a swipe and hit me, and the cargo was broken. So I was like, oh, the cargo's broken, and then basically cargo's broken. That's your game boy, yeah, or cargo spoiled, something like that. It was on the game over screen, and basically you get to respawn after that. Um, the good thing is that this game it gives you the opportunity to play it in very different ways. So when I got caught by that BT. I followed the same path, but I knew what had happened, so I was actually able to make it out of that BT area without getting spotted, and that was pretty good. So it's very like once it feels really good whenever you have to traverse and through a BT area and not get spotted. It just feels great. It's like, oh man, that was awesome. This feels good. Did a lot of the games has building, has a lot of building in it, resource management and a lot of constructions and everything. It's deep. The game is deep
Wow.
for the amount of time that game was made on. Is very impressive. Again, the music is like, man. It's funny because I was listening to the Near Automata soundtrack this week, and it reminded me how much I love that game, and it reminded me how much I love the music in that game as well. But the music in Death Stranding is man, it is top notch, dude. And then the selections they had from licensed music as well. It's just it just fits the game so good, and it's great. I'm having a great time with it. It's frustrating, like I said. It's a very intimidating game, and you have to commit. And I think this game is going to be one of those games that I don't go in and try and finish it. It's not gonna be Persona 5. Where I was like, let's go, let's do this, let's finish it. It's gonna be a game that I play over the one weekend, and then the next weekend I'll probably play for something else, and then go back to it. It
Mm.
feels like that kind of game, right? Um, I'm I'm still undecided or whether or not to pick up the Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition that comes out today. If you're listening to this on Friday, comes out today, and I'm still debating it. I don't know. I don't know. My concern is that I'm gonna get it and not gonna play it. And there's a lot of stuff that's coming out there soon that I really want to play. So I don't know. My at this point in the PS4's life cycle and at this point in my life, I don't know if I'm gonna go back to Street Fighter Five. May just wait for six if that's gonna be a thing in the next few years. We'll see. But you know what? I may just go back to it. So you never know. But yeah, that's all I did. I haven't done anything crazy. I'm hoping to go watch Sonic this weekend. I
Yeah,
heard it's pretty
same.
good, so I'm hoping I can schedule that with the family. So we'll see, man.
Yeah, same. We'll probably talk about that movie next week.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be good. Yeah. All right, man. So let's just go ahead and jump into a bit of breaking news that popped up just about an hour before we started recording, and there is a screen test very similar to what they did when they did that screen test for the Joker, where they just released it out there
Yes.
and had like fans react on it. Well, they're doing the same thing for the Batman suit, and we can see. and that it is clearly Robert Pattinson wearing a Batman suit. That I like the design of the suit because it looks really rudimentary. What I don't like is the lighting on the trailer is awful and makes the suit looks like it's Daredevil instead of Batman. So the little you can see of that suit, it looks really
Yeah.
good, and I like it because it looks like I said rudimentary. It doesn't look sleek. It looks like put together, and I like that. So that looks that to me it looks pretty cool. Is it just me, Joel, or the suit looks like it has like goggles or like some sort of like eye protection?
See, I didn't see that because I know this is gonna sound weird to some people, but I thought I saw like his eyelashes actually sticking out the side of the from the eyes. So it didn't look like it to me. It did It did look like a, I don't want to say small, but just the shape of it kind of looked kind of like how Daredevil looked, right? Like
Yeah,
most of it is fabric, and then you see how a little bit of it is like actual like kind of like that helmet protective look to, which is more like to your point, more practical.
correct. Yeah, yeah. It looks practical. It looks good. Like there's nothing against it. The lighting is awful. Uh, yeah, you can't really see his eyes on on the at least the picture that's here.
Sure.
So I'm not 100% sure if that's gonna be a thing. I think that'd be pretty cool. Like if be a Batman that you can't see his eyes.
Wow.
You can tell a lot by people's eyes, right? So just covering his eyes would be I think a genius move. If they do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it'd be
Um,
very different.
hmm and
Uh,
but I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I think the biggest question mark, like you said, it's from the little that we see we like. It's not hard to get a Batman suit right, but
Yeah.
if you get it wrong, they will come for you. So it's cool that they're smart. They got a nice design going on there. I like the new emblem, how that looks on there. It looks really cool. But was it the part of the top of the cowl? There's only so much we can see to your point, and my I think I really can't wait to see a total look because I've been very interested to see how high is the bat ears on that cowl
They're saying
because
that it's not too high. They're not too high.
yeah, they're saying that, but you can't tell from the footage. I can't wait to see. I think the reason they put this little teaser out was to your point, Obed, see people's reactions. There's still time to change it if they really needed to. If people were like, I hate this, and then they just make tweaks to it, right? But I think they expected also some good marketing. It's a smart move. And
Yeah.
also, they're gonna probably be filming outside some stuff. So at some point,
Yeah.
inevitably, you're gonna see a guy in somewhat of a bat suit, even if some of it's gonna be some CGI like capes and stuff like that. So like inevitably you were gonna see the suit, so it's smart they put it out now, but the filming going on. But the ears, man, I was actually really hoping that it was quite high, the ears on that, the way that suit looked, because I could just imagine like that classic, especially that he's got a more slender figure. No offense to Ben Affleck, it was he was a
Yeah.
husky Batman,
Yeah.
but this would be pretty cool to see a little return to that classic high Batman ears. But I can't judge it without seeing what it looks like. If it's short ears, it might look better depending on how the complete look is
Yeah.
when we get there.
Yeah, yeah. I was just over here laughing because it's like when you mention it's like it's not hard to make a good Batman suit, but when you mess it up or whatever you said, I was like, man, when has there been a bad? Oh yeah, there was a
Yeah,
bad Batman
bat
suit.
nipples.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Hey, we know the
yeah,
bat nipples. Oh boy.
yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Whew. Thank God that
Dark
that's
times for the Dark Knight.
yeah, dark times for the Dark Knight indeed, man. Oh man, that movie. I always forget that movie even
We could have a whole
exists.
podcast episode on that
Batman and
entire movie,
Robin.
man. Ooh, there's stuff to talk
Jeez,
about.
that's a it's a rough watch, bro. That
Yeah,
was a rough watch back then. Still, it's I can
it's probably
just
even rougher
imagine
now.
how. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I can just imagine how bad that movie stayed. It's aged. I haven't seen it in many years, and like I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 years or so. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's whew, doozy. But it looks good. I mean,
For what we can
he's
see,
got
sure.
Yeah, he's got the rise face shape for the suit,
Yes, for sure.
so that looks good. Um, but yeah, like the year thing is gonna be interesting. I heard that it's gonna be based off of uh there's a Batman suit that's actually on Arkham Knight. Um, so they were saying that it's gonna be very similar to that suit.
And the emblem part kind of looked like the Arkham Knight suit.
It does. It very yeah because he doesn't have ears.
Right.
So I'm wondering if this is like a prototype thing, like maybe it could be like a prototype suit that he
Right.
could be wearing, and then at the end of the day, he just alters it and goes for the full Batman thing. So yeah,
Year
at this
one
point, we
logo.
don't know, right? But it's cool to speculate. I'm excited for this movie. It's Batman. I'm excited. Uh, the thing with Birds of Prey and why it doesn't interest me, and I'm just gonna say this, because I know that there's been quite a few points of contention out there, and it has nothing to do with the movie being quote unquote woke, because that to me is just dumb.
No, no,
I mean,
no.
I'm not participating in any of that commentary. But at the end of the day, it's a B tier character with a bunch of like C and D tier,
Yeah, yeah.
supporting characters. So at the end of the day, it's just that for me, Harley Quinn by herself or whatever the group or whatever that she's doing, just doesn't do anything for me. Just like Harley Quinn is Harley Quinn when she's with Mr. J, and by herself, it doesn't do anything for me. So I'm not, it has nothing to do with like female cast and Ewan McGregor being out there and being woke and none of these things, right? It's just that the combination that specific character um, benefits greatly from the Joker, and
Y-
the Joker being missing is just doesn't do anything for me.
I would
But now
have.
you'll say, yeah. Now, sorry, I'm sorry to
You're good.
interrupt, man. I just want to get this off my chest.
Go for it.
It's like, and I'm not saying that a female character needs a male character to be better, right? I am not saying that because Wonder Woman's a great example of a female driven action hero superhero movie that she could be doing stuff by herself and it doesn't really matter because she's awesome. But there's certain characters, um, and there's also male superhero characters. It's the same with uh, X-Men with Scott and Jean. Like Scott is super boring. Jean makes Scott better. It's
Absolutely.
the opposite.
It's a great explanation.
So that's why I'm not just interested in burst spray. So I just want to put that point out there because I know that there's been some points of contention around it. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, you were gonna say something. I'm sorry, man.
Oh, no worries, no worries. We're good.
All right, sweet. Do you want to move right along, sir? Or do you want to take a quick break?
We can move on to the next thing real quick. Yeah.
Okay, cool. There is a Sony mystery movie, a Marvel movie for 2021.
Yep.
Joel, I was not aware that the sequel to Venom is coming out this year. So
Yes.
you just told me about that yesterday because I wasn't aware of it. That is actually a lot quicker than I was expecting.
Yes.
And of course, we got that Morbius trailer not too long ago that looks actually pretty interesting.
Comes on July.
Yep. And there is an unannounced Marvel film coming in 2020, October 2021 to be more specific. Joel, what do you think's going on, man?
Yep. So I did some digging into this because I was talking to you. And I was like, "Is this a Marvel Studios pairing? Is this a Sony Marvel? Like, what does this fully mean?" Because it wasn't very clear in the initial report. Doing the digging that I've done, it sounds like this is a Sony Marvel, not a Marvel Studios pairing film. It's supposed to be more so of the Spider-Man Sony spin-off, another continuation from the spin-offs they've been doing, like how Venom was the first, Morbius now is the next one. This is the same year as the sequel, or really the third trilogy film for the Spider-Man Far From Home Homecoming franchise with Tom Holland. It comes out the same year. It's just comes out a little bit later now because that third Spider-Man film comes out in July, if I'm not mistaken, of 2021. So in October of 2021 is this next spinoff movie. My guesstimate, and this is a pure guess, is that it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be a Craven movie, or it's going to be a Venom versus Spider-Man movie. I think that I don't think Tom Holland's presence is much, if any, in Venom 2. And I don't
Okay.
think that's a bad thing. I think it's fine. But I strongly feel like the implication of whatever happens at the end of that third Spider-Man movie, they're going to try and make money off of it, capitalize, and continue with Tom Holland there.
It's back on Carnage, Joe.
See, I think Venom Carnage is what the actual movie is. That's the Venom 2 movie.
Okay.
Because of Woody Harrelson being the main, villain, being Carnage in the movie. I
Well,
feel like that's what that movie is, but I could be wrong.
well, I mean, could be they could definitely face off, and Carnage going back to the asylum, but then gets broken free by the doppelganger and
Yeah.
Shriek and all these people. So, well, man, it's gonna be interesting, man. I'm excited because even if it's not a Marvel Studios thing and it's a Sony thing, which is what we always expected for Maximum
Yeah.
Carnage, what if they can get Captain America to make a cameo and Reed Richards? Now that we
Uh,
have Reed
that
Richards confirmed.
yep. And
Oh
now
man.
it's a great way of them playing nice between Disney. Like, we'll give you this if you give us that. But the last thing I was gonna say that it also very well could be Obed is that Amy Pascal's still counting on her big Sinister Six movie that she's wanted for so long that they even teased in the Morbius trailer.
I thought
So
you were
it's
gonna say the Aunt May movie when she
no,
was a
that's
spy
oh
or
gosh,
something.
no, that's whew, that that was doomed from the day it was announced. But
Yeah.
the Sinister Six thing, she's been pushing that for like a long time.
Yeah, she's been pushing that since the first
Yeah,
Amazing Spider-Man came out.
Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah,
So it's been a few years. Yeah, I'm interested. Again, I'm definitely gonna check out Venom 2. Not sure if it's gonna be in a movie theater, but whenever it comes out, I'll watch it. Morbius looks interesting. Like I think it's that there was something very charming about that trailer, and I think that it's probably gonna be worth a watch. I think Morbius it's gonna surprise people. Uh,
but will it do well being in July? It's tough to tell.
Yeah, yeah. That movie should have been an October movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then push Venom to like Christmas.
yeah.
That would have made more sense in my opinion. Just because Morbius being vampire type of Halloweeny
Halloween. Yep.
type of thing. So yeah, yeah, that would have been better. But
Hopefully, Sony will be at Comic-Con and they'll have a nice little reveal of what that is because it's 2021 next year. I mean, yeah, we're early in 2020, but time will fly, and they got to start filming whatever that is probably by the end of this year. So we should know soon.
what else comes around that same time?
In 2021,
No, on
July.
July.
Ooh.
All right,
Well.
so I got it here.
Yep.
So Morbius comes out on the 31st. Before that is Jungle Cruise.
Hmm. That's a big one.
That's a big one. Prince Dispatch is not that's not gonna do well. Um, Barb and Star Go Visselmar. No one. I don't even know what that is. I don't care. All right, and Bill and Ted's late August. So,
Hmm.
and then
Okay.
before that, it's Tenet the week before on the 17th. That's
Oh.
gonna be a big one.
Oh.
And before that is Ghostbusters on the 10th.
Those movies
So
are gonna be fighting for a while.
yeah,
Even if
yeah.
if Morbius is number one, it's
Yeah.
gonna suffer from those other
Yeah,
movies.
it's gonna be those three movies basically for the entire month. It's gonna be like Ghostbusters, Tenet,
Yeah.
Jungle Cruise, Morbius, and they're just gonna go back and forth.
Wow.
I'm assuming Jungle Cruise to do really well,
Same.
because of Edwin, Disney, and well, I mean we've seen flops, right? Like
Sure.
the Mars movie or whatever. But The Rock is in it, and
Exactly. The Rock,
once
Emily Blunt, Disney.
yeah, 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 and it's a it's a beloved ride. I know there's going to be more of an adventure comedy, which is great for this
Kind of
type of
Pirates of
movie.
the Caribbean vibe.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think they're not too bad because after the 31st, August 21st is when they have the next big movie. So I think they have room to breathe after it comes out. So it may do well. Joel, I totally forgot that there's a Monster Hunter movie coming out this year
There is.
with Mila Jovovich and Paul W. S. Anderson directing. So I don't know, man. Let's see what else comes out after that. Venom 2, another Halloween thing. The Eternals, it's November 6th.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of hype for Dune, that's in December. Croods 2, no one cares. Who asked for it? All right. I don't think it has a good shot of doing well. So we'll see. Yep. All right. Now, Joe, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be right back. And we're back. So let's go ahead and jump into some gaming news. We want to talk about that Xbox One X Jordan edition. It's coming out, sir.
Yeah,
How do you
it's a fancy looking console. It's a beautiful design, cool packaging, and that's all I can say about it because what does it do? It plays games. What games does it play? I don't know.
same games that are everywhere else?
Forza?
Forza, Gears. Oh man. It's an interesting collaboration.
Yeah, that's
Um,
nice.
you know, uh, I at this point, Xbox has released so many special edition consoles that I've really lost count. There's just for everything they do a special edition. I don't know, reggaeton fans are gonna be are gonna
Oh
be going after
yeah.
this thing because
Uh,
Jordan, right? You gotta have everything Jordan. Like I
yeah,
guess if you're a collector, like if you collect,
for
Jordans, if
sure,
you're
for sure.
if you're really big into that, right? You would get the console and not open it. I mean, more than likely because you
Yeah, the
probably already have an
packaging of it.
Xbox. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But I mean, it's something that's out there that looks kind of neat. I like the red color on it.
same.
Um, you know, if it would have been like an all red Xbox without the logo, I would have preferred that. But hey, you know what? People like the brands, man. So
Yeah,
so
Jordan everything.
you do you. I ain't judging. So so there's that. Nothing much to say on that. But a big story, Joel, is that Mr. Game Awards himself, Jeff Keighley,
Yeah,
is skipping E3. So it seems like it's just not developed, not just publishers and hardware makers, also people that are very pivotal to the industry. I think Jeff Keighley, for as much fun as they poke at him, I think he deserves a lot of respect because he has done a fantastic job bringing video games to the mainstream and making video games feel like art to other people, right? To people like you and me. If we play a game that's compelling, yeah, we'll call it art, right?
yeah,
But Jeff has done a great job at putting uh, games front and center, and it's a big deal. So just have him having to come up with the idea for the Game Awards and bringing it to cable first on Spike when Spike was around, and now doing it all by himself and online, and I think that last year's show was actually pretty good. It was a pretty good show. So Jeff has my respects. I really admire the guy. The guy has unwavering passion for video games, and I feel the same way. And I really respect him. So Joel, he is skipping E3. Um, it's saying that he just doesn't feel comfortable communicating, not communicating, but participating this year because of concerns of basically sort of like the issues that they had last year, um, and the way that E3 is the ESA is trying to move E3 into a new direction, and he just feels like uh, that his approach doesn't fit with what they're trying to do anymore. So he is just not gonna do his event this year. Joe, what do you think, man?
Yeah, lots of thoughts here. I could give the guy a break. I can give the guy a clear pass here. He deserves to take off if he wants to, regardless of if the industry does something weird or something that he's not totally in tune with. The guy's been doing this for 25 years straight. They've been saying,
Yeah,
if I was reading right, if I
He's been attending for 25 years.
yeah, like that's it's pretty amazing. For someone like me, after a couple years, I might have said, "Hey, I'll take a 1 year break. I'll be back next year or something." And I'm not saying because it's boring or that's too much, because it's a lot of fun. It looks like a lot of fun. Looks really cool. And I'm sure you'd miss it not being there. I'm sure I believe he will miss not being there this year. But if anything, after 25 years, yeah, I can see you just taking a break just for that reason alone. But it doesn't help when you have the resurgence of discussions around the relevance of E3 and how it's starting to
Yeah,
change now, where it's not become a real platform of this is the place where games, are broadcasted to the world, the new games, the new era of gaming, the next thing. It's like there's other venues for this now. There's other opportunities now for cool things to happen, and so E3 still is a place that many people come to, but it's not as relevant as it used to be, where it's like it was the scene, it was the E3 that we used to all talk about, and be like, oh my gosh, everything's happening there.
yeah,
Now there's other places for it. So yeah, I mean, I think him then leaving it makes it even more now a question of relevance, like just having a well-known household name like that ditching out. Doesn't mean he's not coming back forever, just means he's ditching out for this year. But regardless, it doesn't help that PR and that perspective there. But the guy deserves a break.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, he's doing good work. I know that he's still gonna cover whatever major announcements
I'm sure.
are done. I'm actually like, in my opinion, Joe, the Game Awards last year, to me,
Yeah.
actually had more cool stuff to show than E3 because we saw a few announcements, we saw a few new things, and just comparing it to E3 just really didn't. E3 didn't really deliver anything last year. We had a Microsoft conference that was there, and they showed the same thing that they showed the previous year, and they showed the Cecil video for the
Series
Xbox.
X.
Yeah, but they actually showed the box at the Game Awards,
Right.
so you can actually see that shift right there,
Right.
where they showed a motherboard on at E3, but at the Game Awards, they show the box.
Yeah.
So uh, things are shifting, and they're moving in a very interesting direction. This year is gonna be a very defining year for gaming. I've been saying that since last year. And we're seeing it with that. So I think there's going to be some major changes to the ESA and how they conduct their business. I don't know if GameStop's going to be around, the next year.
Yeah.
That it's,
It's a question mark.
yeah, it's a question mark exactly. So who's going to fill the void that GameStop's going to, leave? I really dislike going to Walmart, so Walmart's probably not going to be it for me.
Best Buy
Uh,
has a nice program for rewards.
yeah, Best Buy rewards program is probably the best rewards program out there, in my opinion. If you're like to shop locally, Target usually has some pretty good game sales.
True.
It's
And they
give or
price
take.
match.
Yeah, exactly. In the price match, GameStop doesn't price match.
Nope.
It's uh, you got to get with the times, right? It's one of those things. Um, but with the new consoles coming out, Joel, Jeff not covering the event, Sony not being there. at least physically, right? Who knows? Sony may come up the same day, the day after Microsoft uh, does their press conference and just does a Twitch stream of
Hmm.
like a reveal, right? They don't care. Um, but it's man, I am really excited. I am really excited because there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of new things happening, and the mold is being broken, right? And there's a shift, and I it feels like when the Dreamcast came out and the PS2 was about to get revealed and was about to come out. So it kind of feels like that. We're at that point. It feels like there's going to be a major shift, and I can't wait and see what's going to happen. But yeah, I'm gonna Jeff Keighley, he put a good show out there, but I guess we'll see him at the Game Awards and whatever other events he decides to attend. But this is a big deal. This is a
It
big deal for
is.
sure. Yeah. So we shall see what's going to happen with that. Joe, the other little bit of piece of news that I have here is that uh, Disney wants to find more partners out there, and they're going to try to expand their video game properties. So as of now, of course, we know that they have the partnership with EA
Yep.
that expires in I think 2 years. I think it expires 2023 because that the deal started on 2013. So it has 3 more years left, or 2.5 years left. And of course we know that, and of course we know
Square
that,
Enix.
yep, that they are with Square doing Kingdom Hearts. So those are the two major uh, developers that they have, and they have, of course, Sony with Spider-Man on the PlayStation. But they're looking to uh, not necessarily give away their properties, but they're making strategic decisions on how to expand their gaming portfolio. Very interesting news. We know that Disney, they've basically closed all of their internal gaming studios. So everything that's done, it's done on a developer basis. Anything that that was done on Jedi Fallen Order was all Respawn, EA. Everything that's Kingdom Hearts, it's all Square Enix. So they're looking for partners, man, and they're also looking to expand into their Fox or 20th Century Studios properties, like The Simpsons, Aliens, and Die Hard. So I know that there's an Avatar game that's been in development for forever, and that's supposed to come out when the movie comes out, when the next movie comes out. So we'll see. But it's exciting because we at this point we don't know who's going to be involved with these games. You know, clearly, Square Enix is a competent developer. They're definitely going to make it happen. I'm sure that the partnership with Sony and Spider-Man continues because I'm sure there's
Right.
going to be a sequel for that. And maybe I don't know if they're looking. I don't know what their the strategy is with Star Wars, right? But I would love to see, someone like Santa Monica do like the God of War people do a Star Wars game. That would be nuts.
Oh.
So I'm excited. I'm excited, but cautiously optimistic because we've seen this happen before, and these things have been all over the place. But Joel, what do you think, man?
So here's the thing. You have Disney owning so many intellectual properties, so many successful properties under their umbrella. Some of the best, most well-renowned stories that pit people, of all generations, all different walks of life, all different cultures, and yet they've not broken into the gaming space in a very strong way. They have a presence there, as we've talked about. They've always been there, But when it comes to Disney, they like to win on every front. I mean, it's like they want to be winners at the theme park, winners in the film box office. You know, they've got their music and their TV channel and all this kind of stuff, right? Disney's trying to win everywhere, and the gaming space is something that they have not made the biggest splash, but they've definitely been existent. And I think it's time for them no longer to exist, but to really, it's wise, right? Like it only makes sense. Why aren't they making more efforts to pitch their IPs to other developers and see like, hey guys, like, do you any of you guys want to get involved on some of the stuff we have and just throw it out there, throw the fleece out there and see what people say, see how people respond to it. It's a smart position that they're putting themselves in. It's a smart way of publicizing that from these remarks that was put out there in the news. And so hopefully from this, Disney does start to kind of build a larger course of action of this IP is gonna go to this guy, and not just start selling them off. I'm not saying that or dealing them off really because it's still gonna belong to Disney, but like being intentional about how they really make a splash in the gaming space because there's so much richness again there. Kingdom Hearts
Yeah,
is great. There could be so many other great games to that capacity with other developers. And to your point, like I mean, the Santa Monica and you own Star Wars. Star Wars alone, you could have like 4 or 5 different games that could be in development easily, alone there.
yeah,
So, there's a lot more to be done. There's a lot more to be explored.
yeah. I can understand where they came from when they gave when they did the partnership with EA. It was kind of disappointing, right?
Sure.
Because we've all known at that point that what EA's EA, right?
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, I know that they probably didn't want them to compete. Um, that wasn't the case back when 2005, when we had the Revenge of the Sith game, we had Battlefront 2, and we had Republic Commando. So we
Mhm.
had three Star Wars game made by three different studios. Completely different companies, all published by LucasArts back then,
Mhm.
but they were all done by different studios. Um, they could do something like that, right? Where they uh, based on what I guess the last we heard from Iger, and now based on the performance that the Jedi Fallen Order had, they're I guess happy with EA. So but I would still like to see other studios tackle Star Wars, like an Ubisoft or Santa Monica, like I mentioned.
Right.
Though those studios would be fantastic. So Ubisoft, they could definitely do some really interesting open world with Star Wars. So open world stuff. So that would be interesting to see. But yeah, I mean, on other properties like Marvel, I know that that we got that Avengers game coming out now in September. Of course, they just announced that collector's edition today that I showed you. It looks pretty nice. $200. I mean, it's still a lot of money, but it's pretty neat. Comes from an
Yeah.
actual foot tall statue of Cap. So it's pretty nice. So we see interesting stuff out there happening, and we see how they're trying to diversify. Marvel's again going back to Disney. It's the that's the best example we can give right now is that Square Enix is doing Avengers, um, Sony is doing Spider-Man. Spider-Man is in Avengers as a PlayStation exclusive character, but it's
Mhm.
not the same Spider-Man that's on the game. So you can do that, right? They
Yeah,
could do
yeah.
that. They could do the same thing with Star Wars for sure.
Yeah.
So EA got lucky, and so far they've produced 3 games. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is good. It was a good game. It's definitely leaps and bounds better than the first one. And Fallen Order, was one of my favorite games last year. So if they keep it up, so hopefully EA can keep producing quality products. But I would like to see other people tackle Star Wars as well. So yeah, we shall see on that. Other than that, Joe, I don't know if you have anything else on your end, man, but it's a slow news week.
Yeah, it was a good time though, of course, as always. And guys, we appreciate you taking time of your day to listen, watch us here on No Load Time. So go ahead and make sure you're subscribed to the show. We're on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Spotify. Of course, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. In addition to all of that, we also want to encourage you guys to stay following us on social media. So we're at No Load Time. It's at No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Also, feel free to send in any emails to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Questions, comments, feedback. It's always wonderful and welcomed, and we appreciate it. And yeah, we've got a lot more to talk about going forward. I'm sure some more news will drop between now and next week. Of course, Open and I will probably be watching our Sonic
Sonic.
movie this weekend. So yeah, that'll be pretty cool to see our reaction to that movie come next week. So stay tuned for that, guys. But of course, as always, it's a pleasure, and we'll see you on our next episode.
Think again, guys. We will see you next time.